Women are so quick to talk about the slut shaming and, oh, I could dress like this and still be like that. Yeah, that's true. But you have to understand, we're talking about marriage. We're talking about someone that we're taking to our family, someone that we're introducing to our friends. If I don't want you wearing that because you're too provocative, you're showing too much skin. You're showing, you're giving fantasies to my friends. You're misrepresenting you as an intelligent woman to my family because they're not thinking about now your mind. They're looking at how you're dressed. You know what I mean? So when I say that, I say it goes both ways. You can't get mad that I don't like to have a girl that's dressed provocative all the time when you wouldn't like a guy who's unkept or wears sweats. And when I said unkept, somebody was like, oh, no, it should be muscles or something like that. No, girls don't like guys with muscles, muscle tees and like tight ass pants. They like, the baggy pants. They show masculinity. It shows like, oh, he's a rough cut. Zenobia, you know what I mean? Like they like those rough guys, you know what I mean? So that's why I said a dude that wears sweats, you know what I mean? That shows the girls like, oh, I got this swag, but I still, bag this bad B, you know what I mean? So that's why I made that reference. But when I asked that question, who would want that man dressed like that? None of them. So it's the same reason why we don't want our girls dressing like hoochie mamas. Yeah. Please, answer my question. Let's start off with Zenobia.
I don't want to deal with a man that's unkept.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
I don't like sweats.
Thank you.
Hold on. Let me respond to that. Time out. Y'all just said all that, right? Yeah. Now listen, I was that dude. Now let's put it like that. At the end of the day, hold up. Y'all laughing. But at the same time,
you can't start like that.
I was that unkempt dude. Look, I'm from the hood. I was that unkempt dude. You feel me? Dirty sweats, dreads all over the place, just didn't care. At the end of the day, it's levels.
But why were you like that though?
Listen, the streets.
No, because
you know what I'm saying?
You see that way, but some people will say, oh, because I don't have money. But I know people that don't have a lot of money, but still know how to look.
It's levels though. Look, it's a certain ignorance that comes with, the way you want to present yourself in front of people and just keeping up, I wasn't into that at a certain point, younger. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you can't judge everyone by its cover. You know what I'm saying? Just like I can't judge you as a woman by what you wear.
No, it still comes with maturity.
Tom, let me land. If and when I meet you and you're into modeling, fashion, and this is your persona, this is your image, I have to accept that as a man to a woman. At the end of the day, if I meet you and you are a nun, then there's no reason why you should be dressing the way you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about what you like prospectively.
So you're saying that you would be okay with your women dressing provocative?
Listen,
everywhere
I'm sophisticated, but a little ratchet sometimes. So I need a little, you know what I'm saying?
Just to piggyback off of what you said, I was like that in high school. I was such a jock. I was always wearing sweats. I was wearing the freshest kicks. I didn't care. And then there was a certain point I was like, why am I not like getting, getting that energy that I'm giving? I was like, oh, wow, I'm a pretty woman. I need to dress like it because then people are going to be like, oh, I want to talk to her. Why not? It's all about
But you both just mentioned that was in your younger days.
Yeah,
I think
that's what I'm saying.
As you mature, your style changes as you mature regardless.
I think you guys have this comparison way off. You're comparing women dressing slutty to dudes dressing down. I think you have to compare it more to... Listen. You have to compare women dressing slutty to dudes wearing tight shirts with muscles bulging and coming around with my print showing all the time.
All right now.
So ladies,
now
would y'all want y'all's dudes print to be showing all the time when y'all
It's still the same answer. It's still the same answer to man or to model. At the end of the day, you don't want that person dressing that way.
But hold on, but he's wearing sweats. He don't look ratchet though, right? He looks athletic.
Two-Piece Tuesday, you see? Everybody on this stage is so confused, and they're trying to compare a dude who doesn't dress well or dress dirty to a woman who dress slutty. And I'm just like, then what about girls who dress dirty too? Like, because they are out there. So I feel like the comparison should be more so if you're gonna compare a woman that dress slutty, how about you compare it to a man who has a lot of muscles and he wears tight shirts? Because there's some girls out here, they don't want their dude to be out here exposing their muscles. Like, you want me walking around showing my dick print everywhere, you got me around like your female friends. You want them to see how much I got working because eventually they're gonna end up in my inbox. So I feel like nobody was thinking about that possibility.
Okay, ladies, listen up. What would make you, in your perspective, marry a man?
So who wants to start?
Don't all speak at once.
We already know where Zenobia's mind is.
Oh God. Sex is definitely a deal breaker, but outside of that, I really don't like a lazy man. Like I hate a lazy man.
Oh my gosh.
And I kind of really want like a man like my father. My dad is strong. You know, like I want a man that's not afraid to mount the TV, cut the grass. Like I know guys that won't do stuff like that. Like they feel like let's pay somebody.
But how
to do
about if
that.
they weren't raised like that? Like my dad never taught me how to change a tire,
Well, I
so I
mean,
did not know how to change a tire. So
YouTube.
But you can always teach her. You have to be
Yeah,
open to
YouTube.
learn how to do stuff like that. Because if I'm
why?
in a
But
car,
like if they weren't raised like that,
I do it. That's one. I definitely do it. I can change a tire, change oil. I've definitely cut grass with a lawnmower. I do all of that. I'm not a lazy
but
woman
you
at
want
all.
your man
So
to
if
do
you,
it, though.
yeah.
No, it's not about me wanting to my man to like. It's not like you have to do this. Like I expect you to cut the grass and I expect you to do this. But what I need to know is that I'm secure, that my man is gonna protect me. I need to know that my
I give
man
you
is
that.
strong, and I don't want to deal with no lazy man. If we in a car and it's 2:00 in the morning and the tire go out, I need to know that you gonna hold it
AAA.
down. That's cool. But if AAA is taking, at the end of the day, that's you. But see, that's you though, and I get that. That's you, and mind you. That's cool. That's you, and that's also too. I don't like dating like pretty guys. I like a man that get rough. Like I like a rough.
What you saying?
Man, what I'm saying is I like a man that got a little ash around his knuckles. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Jonathan does sound lazy. Talking about, oh, I'm about to call AAA. I'm gonna call somebody. Okay, well, when AAA is taking 2-3 hours and you got somewhere to go, you sit outside for 2-3 hours and wait for AAA. I need my man to change my tire for me. I like a rough man. Like I like a man. I don't like.
So a
I've
rough
never
man
dated like
is-
a pretty
you,
boy.
You,
She like her
you base a rough
sweatpants.
man on their looks, on their physical
No,
looks.
it doesn't have to be about looks. That's what I'm
But that's what
saying.
you're
Like
saying. No,
I
I'm
like
saying
a
that's
man
what
that's
you
like
base
strong.
But you
Take charge.
so you base strong men on their physical appearance.
No, I just said I base a strong.
But you
man
said a
on-
pretty boy you would not date.
No, I won't date a
So
pretty
what's
boy.
a
Yeah,
pretty,
that's.
hold on.
But
So
you
what's a
saying
pretty
you
boy
want.
Pretty boy.
What's a
to
pretty
me.
boy?
What you looking at me for?
What's a pretty boy?
Because the pretty boys, the light-skinned men are feeling
They got upset.
Time.
I'm sorry.
Time.
Pretty ass.
Right. What I'm saying is, I just like a man that's like strong, rough. I don't like that prissy nonsense.
She wants a
Like, I
man
don't
that has
like-
a record.
Right.
Just say it, because you said it before.
What?
A record, like he's
Milan,
been in
don't
jail
put words
before.
on my mouth. I never
And
said
you
I
like
like
to
the
say-
man with a record.
But I'm just
Like-
making it easy for you. Like, obviously, if, like you said, you want like someone who is rough, who is strong, you can find him in jail. Like, basically, like, she's trying to say she wants... Z basically wants to marry someone she can control. It's like, she's married like a houseboy. Giving her, busting it wide open for him. Like, that's work. And on top of it, clean her house, clean her grass. Like, she wants, I think she wants someone to enslave, if that's a word. Yeah, enslave. She wants someone to enslave.
I think that Idris Elba has been in a jail.
But
He's
who's
rough.
that
He's
Idris Elba?
scruffy. He's
You want to see him in the
strong.
movie.
He got like
He's
this
just
pretty
Yeah,
Jordan.
You only see him rough.
No, I'm saying his appearance. Like he's not a
He does
pretty
not
boy.
appear rough to
He's
me.
not doing
But how
his
do you know he's
eyebrows and
strong?
all that
How do you
shit.
know
The
he's
makeup
strong?
artist is doing it.
You never seen him on Instagram without a makeup artist?
How you
He
know?
is a pretty boy though. He be like,
Instagram.
Listen, at the end of the day, hold on.
let's go to Monty.
Listen, at the end of the day, like I said, you know what you saying, I can dig it. But at the same time, I done seen dudes 6'8" and still punks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So look, I'm not
But
saying.
I just said I
feel
don't
you.
want a man like that.
I feel you, but look, at the end of the day, you know, I can be. Look, she made the light skin comment. It is cool. I'll accept that.
It's not cool.
But at the end of the day, look, you saying that only looking on the outside surface, you don't know what I've been through. You know what I'm saying? You might not be into what I'm into because you ain't been through what I've been through. So at the end of the day,
We got rappers
like,
up
look,
in here.
Right.
Uh-oh.
So look, at the end of the day, yeah, I got a record. You know what I'm saying? I got like it's mad stuff that I went through and been through in my life. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you can't judge nobody based off he dresses well, he does this, oh he's light skinned, he's a
But
pretty
y'all
boy.
just
you wouldn't-
judge
wouldn't
me.
do that
Y'all
light
just
skin
judge
rough
me
That's
based
that
on
was
what I
judging.
dress.
Y'all
Y'all
judging
just
her.
judge me.
So
You
now
just
we're
started
judging
saying prostitutes dress like how
I never said that. I spoke you up. I spoke you up. He said that. I spoke you up.
I didn't call her prostitute.
You made that.
You
I wasn't referencing it to her.
suggested.
You like
I
you
was just
can't wear
saying,
dress
you
like that going out with me.
Yeah, you
That's
said
what
you can't
said,
dress
Milan.
like that going out with me, then you said that you don't like prostitutes.
Oh
I
no,
do
what
like
I
those.
said
I
was
do
I
like
don't want no
those.
lazy man. If you're lazy, I'm not going to marry
I have a
you.
question because you said it's a lazy
Wait, but
man.
mine's these
Oh,
church.
sorry,
She
go
want a
ahead.
man to cut the
It's
wrong
not
shirt
in the middle
off
of
and
my
all
point,
that.
but
You know what I'm saying?
For me,
You know.
I want somebody who's not scared of my ambition. As a woman, I am very ambitious. You know, I have goals bigger than this universe. You know, I believe that, you know, I want to empower and impact so many lives. I have so many things I want to accomplish. And a lot of times my ambition has always been met with almost like competition. And I'm not trying to compete with you. So I will only, you know, a thing for me is, can we match? You know, are you like, one, you have to be as ambitious as me. You know, if we're not on the same ambition wavelength, then it's gonna be a failure. Like for that, you don't have to you know, go in the same path as me, but we gotta have like somewhat of a similar big vision.
I agree with that.
Because my ambition has often been met with so much, you know, like it's almost like.
Too strong.
Too strong, yeah. Like I come out too strong. You know, I'm always gonna get my money. I'm always gonna. I would love to help you get your money, and I'd love you to help me get my money. You know, let's be a team. You know, I want us to be the next biggest, you know, whatever, J and B, whatever you want to call it. Like, I'm thinking power couple. I'm thinking that I'm impacting lives in Kenya, I'm impacting lives in the US, I'm impacting lives in the Caribbean, in Europe. I'm like a public figure. You know, if I want to run for president, I can. Like, I have big
agree.
goals. So my ambition has always been met.
Yes.
My ambition has always been met with a lot of fear, a lot of criticism. I think that's why I get comments like, you're not crazy enough for me,
Right.
you
They
know,
quote you, yep.
because I'm not really going to chase you. At the end of the day, we're in this together. It's a partnership. I have to give you your space. You have to give me my space. And then, you know, we have to build together. So
I can't argue
that's
that.
for me.
Yeah.
I can't argue that.
I got nothing bad to say about
As a strong, ambitious woman, men are intimidated by me. Not all men, I would say a majority of the men that I have been, you know, in situations with have been intimidated by my success, by, you know, the things I was able to achieve at a very young age, at 18, 19, and how, you know, because of that stepping stone, that's just the beginning for me. So I see the world in a different way. It's my whole stage. And a lot of people just can't, you know, they can't understand that and where it's coming from. And my thing is, I hope my ambition would inspire you as a man, you know, or I would hope that we're at the same level. You know, I would hope that you would challenge me to even dream bigger, you know. And I've come to realize it's just insecurities in themselves. And if you're threatened by my ambition, you're somebody I'm not even trying to deal with at any time.
bad to say about
I don't know if Zenobia gonna find that because she also wants a man who wants to take charge and everything, but then
That's
she,
not what I said. I said nothing about taking charge. I said I don't want a lazy man.
You want
period.
him to mow the lawn.
I want to know that you can.
When
But
you
when I'm
can
super
pay
rich, though, I
somebody
don't
to do
expect
it.
you to like lift a finger. If we rich, what are we cutting our own grass for? But I'm saying though,
But
I
you
don't
can
want
bring
a
him
lazy
lemonade.
man.
That would be cute.
Look, I believe that, like, I could speak on, myself. Like, I wasn't always in a position where I was like stable or making more than my significant other. So I agree. Like, ambition is very important as a man. I mean, it's, in the society and things going on and just situational matters that happen outside of your daily life. It's just sometimes you have that situation where a man can be, a man can be, depressed, or a man can be intimidated by a woman who's just on the money, like doing what she got to do, out here hustling, making it. So, I mean, as a woman, it's always good to encourage a man. We need it too at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I spoke real, like, the sex thing. I was joking a lot about that stuff, but at the same time, when the seriousness comes, we need a whole lot sometimes of encouragement and just saying, yo, baby, you got it. Like, I know that you're not here, but we gonna be there. You feel me? So I agree.
I'm
saying,
saying ambition is good, but it has to be to some extent. Because if you are
That's
if
what
you're
I'm
trying-
saying.
no,
That's
that
what I'm
makes
about to
sense.
say.
Because if you are trying to raise your kids, of
Don't
course,
do
me
ambition.
the guy, obviously, it will get to a time and I'll tell you, babe, I think you should slow down because the kids need you are home. more often. You're not, even though you're rich, you're not gonna get. The kids don't want babysitters.
Why can't the
They
kid
want
need
you-
their father? Why do they always gotta need their mama?
Because the reason why is because you would want the man to be the breadwinner as well. So he can't do both.
So
In this day and age,
Yeah,
it's
that's
supposed
true.
to be two people
It's supposed
working
to, but let's be
together.
real.
Why
Realistic,
can't we
it's
take
not,
turn to, love one of the kids? Why the mom has to slow down?
How do you
But
take
I'm saying,
turns? You're gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna take 1 week off, baby," and you take the next week off. You can't.
But it's an agreement. It's a partnership. It's a partnership.
I grew up,
It is.
I grew up in a
But
two-parent household, right? My dad was an entrepreneur. My mom worked in corporate America. When we got sick, when we had dentist appointments, all that stuff, my dad was the one picking us up and taking us there. My mom, she got home at 7 o'clock religiously every day. We didn't see her. Like, we be getting ready to go to bed at 8. And I feel like when it comes to, like, your point, like, my dad was ambitious because he was an entrepreneur, but my mom was ambitious because she was climbing the corporate ladder. And they were able to step down for each other when it was necessary.
Right.
And they're not married anymore, but they're still best friends. My mom has
I think
struggled
it
trying to
strains-
find like
I think-
another man since then
There you
because
go. Puts a
she's not
strain
gonna
on
be
it.
with anybody who's not willing to yield to her like she's willing to yield to them. It's got to be both, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like that puts a strain on the relationship as well.
It really does.
It puts a strain on it.
Because I had a 2-parent home also, and at one point, my parents came to this country with nothing. My dad came to this country with $300. Him and my mom worked, and I have a two-parent home, and I really can't say that I really saw my parents that often. I see
See?
them the majority on the weekends, and I think even now, even from my future relationships, I don't want to date anybody that works a 9 to 5. I want to date like an entrepreneur or somebody that has a
Yeah.
business. That way,
Flexibility.
there's
That helps a lot.
your
Yeah.
job is not dictating when we can be there for our kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want you to request off. We should be able to plan and schedule that on our own. Make my own
But
schedule.
when it comes to entrepreneurship, though, like everybody's saying, like, "Oh, you're an entrepreneur, you can just make your own schedule." That's really not it. Your job
but
doesn't stop.
That is true. Your job doesn't
But at
stop.
least
And
you
I
can do
feel
that
like
home
when
and
I feel
stuff,
like when
too.
you're an entrepreneur, you actually work more than a 9 to 5
do.
person.
But it depends on your business schedule, though, because if your business that you have says you need to be in Europe today and your family is in New York, then you have to go to Europe. So it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
I understand that, but you have more of a freedom than when you work a 9 to 5. When you work a 9 to 5, the government's gonna tell you get this many sick days, you get this many that. But when you're your own boss, you make your own schedule, and you work harder. You do, and you work more hours. Sometimes you're not gonna get to see your family, but you do make your own schedule.
Or how about if you a broke boss? You know what I'm saying? You on the ground
Yeah.
floor. How about that one though?
But that's the
It
same
sounds
thing,
good. Hold
though.
up. It sounds good to, speak a hypothetical when you already at a point, you making millions, you're a successful entrepreneur. How about if the man ain't got it? How about if he on the ground floor?
If he's on the
starting
ground floor,
business.
that's fine.
Then
But
what?
if you're on the ground floor and you're building your business, that's fine. But who said we was together yet? Maybe we together building from the ground up, and when we establish, then we start having kids. People be so quick to have kids. You're not
Yes.
even worried
Yeah,
about
that's true.
having a
That's
family.
true. That's true.
Everybody
That's
want to
true.
have a baby. Nobody
Yes.
want to have a family.
Right.
We be forgetting that part.
So
like
are
if you
you
on the
saying-
ground up, that's fine. When you get to a certain level, when we're comfortable, that's when we start a family. Everybody always wants to have a baby. Like, everybody wants to get pregnant so bad, and I want to have a baby, blah, blah, blah. But you forgot that you're supposed to have a family first. Like, get married first. Things don't always happen perfectly, but that should at least be the goal. Don't be rushing to have a baby, thinking that this baby's going to keep this man or keep this woman. Stop trying to trap these rich men by having their kids and all of that stuff. If that man or woman don't love you, they don't love you. And having a baby is not going to make them love you. That's it. Family.
So are you saying that you, as a entrepreneur, business owner, you wouldn't date somebody who's making less money than you?
It's not about making money. I wouldn't.
yes, it is.
I don't
Answer the question.
prefer.
Yes,
Answer the
it
question.
is.
Answer the question.
No, I wouldn't mind. Here's the thing, right? If I'm an entrepreneur, if I'm making 10 million, you making 6 million, we still making millions. Like, I don't care if you making 4 million less than me.
No,
Like,
we
that's not gonna.
What about you? You're not making millions. You're not making millions.
Broke.
But if a man is
33 cents in his pocket. We talking all my money, all my time is my business,
But
and I'm
is
on the
he
ground
that's
floor.
fine. And you know what? And I'm
I'm
happy you
putting
said
all
that.
my money into my business, and I'm still broke, struggling, trying to do it from the ground up.
I just
That's
came
what
out
I'm
of that
talking about.
relationship.
And how was that?
So,
But we broke up for completely different reasons. But at the end of the day, our goals were the same. We knew what we
Yeah.
were working
Okay.
towards. So I didn't judge him for not being able to take care of me at a certain time, because when we got in a relationship, he was able to take care of me. He splurged on me, buy me all these things. He had a low moment. That didn't bother me because I'm a strong enough woman to hold on my
All
own.
right.
So, and that too, I feel like as a man, you should want a strong enough woman to hold in your own, because if you
I
get
respect
sick,
that. Yeah,
you gonna
respect
lose
that.
your house.
There you go.
No, so
That's
don't be
facts.
messing with no bum bitches.
That's
That's,
facts.
it.
That's how
That's right.
and
Add that
for
to my
me,
list.
I think the most important
No
thing
bum
is
bitches.
just don't fear like if you fear my ambition, you know, I don't know how I'll act when I get kids, you know, but I do know I will want to be there for my kids. My mother is a strong, ambitious woman. She was there 24/7, and she was a single mom, you know. Well, even if, you know, my stepdad was there, but we might as well say she was single. You feel me? But and I look up to her as an example. Like my mother is, you know, she's the head of Africa in the oil industry companies, so male dominated, and she's one female, you know, managerial post, and not just like regional managerial, like handling the HR of like Africa for the company. Yet she still manages to find time for my brothers. You know, she's always there at home, making sure they do their homework. She was always there, so she would wake up at like 4 a.m., go to the gym, be in the gym by 5, be home by 3 p.m.
See?
Get in the oven, like you see. So I feel like hold on, I haven't finished. So in terms, when I get kids, that's the model I feel like I'm gonna have. Like I believe that you can find time within your busy schedule for your kids. Like I always believe, you just have to sacrifice some things. You will probably have to sacrifice some things like time for your friends, time for yourself, and that's why I will only, you know, want children once I'm at a level where I feel like I'm really ready. Because you have to sacrifice.
I just want to say, look, I want to salute you. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a single parent home myself, so I want to salute you and other people who have, you know, also grew up in single parent homes that didn't have the opportunity to see a father in place in the homes and everything like that. And salute everybody who probably had 2 parents in their household. But I just want to put that out there because at the end of the day, we all sitting here as individuals and we made it and we doing things that, you know, our parents are making us, our parents will be proud of. So, like,
I had a totally different experience because my mom was the one making it. She was very, very ambitious. My dad was like the one who had nothing. But then growing up, we didn't see her home. We were more attached. So basically, my sister raised us. Growing up, it was even though our fees was paid, we went to the best schools, we had everything, but we were more attached to our sister. So, like at this like right now, like I'm more like I fear my sister the most. Like I just feel like she's my mom. So that's the attachment I'm talking about. Even though she was paying our fees, she was providing us everything, but she was never at home. So that's what I'm saying. Like you can be very.
And when you feel abandoned, I feel you're saying.
Yeah, so I felt abandoned, and I'm more closer to my sister. I feel like my sister is my mom.
But that's probably why you don't want to commit too. That might affect your relationship.
I
I'm just saying in a relationship, you may feel that way too, and that's probably why you don't want a woman that's like that was too ambitious.
Right, because it really, this is the point that I wanted to make. It's really our personal experiences that we want.
Life is
because
a circle.
Exactly, because with what you're saying, I didn't get that. What I got was I had a very, very ambitious father, and I had a very, very intelligent mother. My mom knows 6 languages. My mom passed tests that my dad couldn't pass for his insurance company, but she still said, let's be real. I'm just saying, let's be real. But because my mom kept her last name, that's how strong of a woman she is.
I don't want that.
You know what I mean? It's because that's just who she is. No, it doesn't. No, I mean, like legally, the last name was there, but like when she came up, she said, "This is my name, my first and last, my maiden name." Because in our culture, and at least in the East African culture, you take your father's first name as your last name.
Yeah.
You know, so and he died in his 30s.
Wow.
You know, so. I say that to say she still stayed home, even though she had ambitions to be a flight attendant worldwide. She wanted to be a world banker because she knows 6 languages. But at the end of the day, she stayed home, and that's because she wanted to make sure she was there for every PTA meeting. She wanted to make sure that she took us to school and brought us back. I've never taken a school bus, you know, and so that's why I think what Milan and I are saying is like, we love you being ambitious. Because that's what, of course, would attract us. Like, you're not no bum bitch, like Zenobia said, you know? But it still levels to it because the type of family that I want is the type of family I grew up in. Yeah. My dad was basically never there because he was working literally from like 1 a.m. to 1 a.m., you know? And my mom had to, and I see her as the strongest woman I've ever met, you know? So like you taking a step down for the family doesn't mean that you're not as ambitious as what you feel inside as well. You could still be doing so because she still had her own businesses, but the focus was the family. And so like with people like men that want a woman like that, don't discredit it because of that. Sam, what about you?
I will not marry somebody that's not supportive because I think that's like a big strain in our relationship because support goes both ways. So if you want me to support your dream, if you like a struggling artist or you have your business on the ground and you want, somebody to help you bring it up, I will be there. I will help you do all that, but I want the same in return because some guys don't think like that. Just like we were talking about some of the celebrities, they start with their wives when they were struggling, right? And then once they make it big, move on to the next. And I just don't like that whole idea because it seems like people are always saying like, well, you don't know what happened. I do know they start together. Why after 20 something years, why is she all of a sudden not good enough?
Sometimes they got together really young and they grew up to be different.
But 24 years?
Like I said, what the man has to
you weren't even mature.
But you were the person for 24 years though.
Like I said, the man has to be ready. That goes back to my point. The man has to be ready. Look at George Clooney. Had every single
But he was never was he at?
He had the finest girls, the finest models. Everybody was always like, when are you going to settle down? Randomly, literally got ready for, I think it was the Oscars or something. He so nonchalantly said to, I think it was E, he was like, I proposed, I got my hair cut today, I got fitted for my suit. And they, it was to the point where the correspondent missed it because they're so used
old.
to it.
I think that's what that thing was. He was old and people were...
he's ready.
He's not.
He's ready. He was ready.
He was like 60.
You never know what people...
You never know.
I think support is very important and it goes both ways, but I just feel like I'm not interested in building somebody all the way up. You got to bring something to the table. I mean, come on. I'm not here to be your mom. You're a grown-ass man. You can't just show up. I can't bring the table and the chair. You got to bring something.
I always believe if you're with somebody with 10 years and you guys break up, you're only together for 5. You don't know how long things were going bad for someone to get a divorce. Divorce takes a long time. And we're talking about celebrities. We don't know what they do in their own home. We don't know if they were sleeping in the same bed. We don't know if they were even getting along.
I just think it's so weird how they waited 20-something years to do all that.
But it's not even about waiting. On that status, those type of rich people, at the end of the day, when you get to a certain type of level with money, your marriage turns into a business. They're more worried about securing their assets, making sure that things are going to be financially okay before they even leap and tell the public, we're going to get a divorce.
And when you talk about support, you can be fully in love with someone and not necessarily support their dream.
And that's terrible.
Would you date a SoundCloud rapper?
Yeah,
would you date a SoundCloud rapper?
It depends. I don't know the person. I don't know him.
You in love with him. You've never had any problem with him at all. And he's like, I'm doing this SoundCloud rap game. And he's sending you his links and he wants you to post them on your social media where you got all your followers. So he wants to utilize your brand and you in love with him. You don't really support his dream. So what is that though?
Right.
She's not even answering it.
I just feel like, why are you trying to use my social media to
That's
But
support.
you're
support.
That's
That's
support.
it's not the same thing. Social media, really posting
No,
up.
but today, if you think of how
People take
digital
social
marketing...
media way too
Let her
seriously.
win.
Which is why he would consider it support.
Yeah,
But I
because
think that's why he would consider it support.
because even record labels these days, the first thing they ask is how many views do you get, how many plays are you getting, how many followers do you have. So that social media repost is valid.
So you tell him. It depends on how long we've been dating. First of all, if we just started dating, I'm not about to sit up here posting your stuff on my Facebook. No, it's not support.
Support only halfway.
No. That's a different story. That's a different story. If we've been dating for a while and I know you're a rapper, yes, I will post your thing. But if we just started dating and you went on my social media, you're like, you got 20-something followers. Can you support me?
No. Wait. So if you just started dating a man, you wouldn't want him to support you?
It depends. I'm not gonna ask him to go kill
That
somebody.
defeats your whole purpose.
No,
of wanting
it's not defeating. It is not defeating my whole purpose. Bottom line is, it really depends on how we're dating. Because the thing is, people like to use people. At the end of the day, we live in a world where people are extremely shallow.
Hold on. Talking about marriage.
I'm just in general.
I see what she said. Hold
No,
on.
marriage. That's the card.
Yeah,
Hold on.
Well, if we're married, obviously,
No, about to be married.
So what was your question?
Well, you said you need support in order for you to want to marry that man.
Right.
Which means that it would need to go both ways, right?
Right.
So you want to marry this man, but you don't support his dream, and you're saying you don't want to put his rap links on your
But that's a
Insta
different. Okay, so if we've been together, we're about to get married. Yes, I will support him. But
even if you don't like his music.
If I don't like it, I'm gonna support him because I love him. Yes.
I'm sorry to talk about that whole support thing. I'm sorry, but if we're in a relationship and we're getting ready to get married or we're trying to get married and you're doing something extremely bizarre, I'm
How's that
sorry.
bizarre?
Hold up.
You're gonna know.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay, go ahead, finish.
So
Go ahead, finish.
what I'm
Go ahead.
saying is, can I talk?
Finish.
Can I talk?
Go ahead.
Okay. What I'm saying is, if we about to get married and I love you and all these things, and you trying to do something so bizarre, I love you, but you not doing that shit. Like to be with me, and we not gonna progress. Like
you wouldn't
you're not about
So
to
you
tell
crushing his
me.
dream. That's what you're doing.
I'm
You
what?
need to
You
get a
crushing
better
him as
dream
dream.
then.
That's
She
what
not
you're
crushing the dream, she's leaving.
What I'm realistic.
That's
You're not about to
exactly
tell
what it is, a
me.
dream.
You're not about to
Right.
tell me.
Tell me.
We're not about to be together for 2-3 years and we engage and we're trying to get married and you're like, babe, for a living, I want to stand on the street and paint. What kind of money is that bringing for us to go buy a house?
He's
and
an
do all that
artist.
shit?
Hold on.
He's
hold on.
ambitious.
He's an artist, though.
Look,
And
listen.
he's saying that all I want to do is go stand on the street.
He's ambitious.
I want to be in a Times Square subway station playing the guitar.
They
and
make
get
money.
paid.
But what
I'm
taxes
not-
you doing?
Hold on.
Taxes really money.
Listen, it's a difference
Cash.
between supporting somebody who just doing something to do it. Like, listen, if you like you said the rapper thing, if you were really serious about your craft, you out here at every show, you out here doing, concerts, you out here really working. You out here doing graphics, you out here, you really working and focusing on your craft. Everybody a rapper nowadays. Everybody wanna be on the Ave in New York painting and look, we talking about somebody who really putting their work into their craft and saying, babe, look, I'm on the gram, I got 20K followers, I'm really rapping out here. The money not here, but this is what I'm doing.
But that's
Will
not
you
what I'm
support that?
saying. What I'm saying is if you're trying to
Yeah,
do
that's not
something
what she-
bizarre,
yeah.
something
Painting is
that's
bizarre?
not-
Somebody
Dream is
painting is bizarre?
Whether it's a rapper or a painter, a dream can't be bizarre.
If
You
it's
just
your
do it.
dream and this is your passion and you're saying now I'm doing this to grow to that, like I said, I will support you to do that. But if you come with me on some bizarre nonsense, I'm just doing this as a hobby
That
to
is
kill
very true.
time. No,
That is
you're
very
not
true.
doing nothing
That
to
is
kill
very true.
time. Whatever you
Yeah.
do,
A hobby is different,
let
though.
that
A
be
hobby is
something.
different.
That's what I'm talking about, though. Whatever you
That
do,
is
let
true.
that be something to where you're trying to grow to
Yes.
be something.
Right.
Just like I said, I was just with a man that didn't have much, but he had a
Right.
big dream and he was working towards it,
Yeah.
taking those steps to do it.
So we
what
saying
I'm
the same
saying is,
thing.
you're not gonna tell me,
What was the
oh, well, I
dream
don't
they
have
had?
much, huh?
What was the dream?
What dream?
You said he had this big dream. What was the dream?
I'm not gonna say
Ooh,
that.
I was about to say, you
Because,
about to put it out.
yeah, I'm not gonna say that. It will kind of like give off to too many people who get. But anyway,
But everybody already know who your last was.
Oh.
who's my last?
We'll leave that alone.
Who's my last? My last boyfriend played for the NFL. But anyway,
Oh, so y'all call him out. What you want? Is that the other dude's dream?
You got that NFL money.
but let's move on.
That's how she busted it wide open.
What I'm saying is,
All right.
what's the wide open?
We're gonna leave that alone.
Let's sit down,
What
Tatiana.
I'm saying
Moving
is,
on.
if it's this bizarre hobby that you're trying to do to kill time and you don't have no passion for nothing, I'm not supporting
Yeah.
you doing that.
Yeah, I
Period.
feel that. Me too. Yeah.
All right.
Alright,
Yeah.
Yes,
What were you saying?
My main thing is to be with someone that makes me feel safe and satisfied. If I'm gonna marry you, I
Satisfied
need
in
to
what?
be satisfied in everything. In the bedroom, yeah, I was gonna say in the sheets. Sorry, I had to shit. No, like at home, like I need to feel safe. Like I used to be in a very tough situation with a guy, and he used to be very abusive, like mentally and emotionally. Thank God I didn't get physical, because I wish I would. I really would have
Fight
beat him
back.
up. Yeah, but
I'm sorry to hear that. You know what I mean?
yeah, it was really tough, and I saw my mother and my aunties go through that, and I just I hated that. So I want to be safe. If I'm gonna marry somebody, I don't want my kids to see that, because that affects them more.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
A man needs to give me security, not only emotionally, but like financially. Like if I'm going through something, like if I don't have a job or anything, I need you to help me out and like hold me down. Because if I do make it, or excuse me, when I do make it, I want you to be there with me and I'll help you back. Second thing, safety. If I'm in an environment with him, I need to make sure that if anything goes south in the situation, especially if it's out of our control, I need to make sure that he's going to be able to come in and help me out.
Satisfied, he needs to be able to help me out. He needs to help, like, just going back to what you said, like, I don't want somebody lazy. I think the better word for it is, like, I want somebody when I could do it. I could do anything. But I want him to be like, yo, you know what, babe? I got you. Just you chill. I
Take the
got
lead,
you.
baby. You
Take
know
the
what I mean?
lead.
Yeah.
That's
But
not
you
what
have
all
to
y'all
earn
want,
it.
though.
But you have to earn it first. You can't just be coming in like, okay, I'm a guy. You know, I'm awesome. I'm pretty looking, and I have money, so I'm gonna be.
People talk about this pretty? Why do you?
Do you feel personally attacked?
I mean, no, but there are pretty guys out there that might.
I don't feel no way.
Do you feel like you're a
all
pretty
the
boy,
pretty boys out there.
Jonathan? Do you feel like you're a pretty
I ain't
boy?
feel offended. I'm comfortable in mine.
No.
Go ahead. Keep
Okay.
continuing.
I think
I feel like I'm a man.
Okay, good.
I would say you're attractive, and I feel like you feel attacked because you're attractive. You know, the reality is a lot of attractive men, I would say in my experience, a lot of attractive men have always come with this air of like, I can get anybody,
Right.
and I feel,
But then,
and I-
you know, a lot of the
That's
time,
what
but a
you're
lot of the
thinking.
time that's generalization, and you guys are just you guys are literally putting that on them. Because when a lot of people first meet me, they always say I'm cocky, I'm full of myself, and I'm the exact opposite. I'm a nerd.
No, I'm just
honestly.
saying. No, I haven't
You
said
know-
you. I'm saying
No, but
you
I'm
feel
saying-
personally attacked because
When-
you're a
when-
very
yeah, when you say
attractive
stuff
man.
like, me?
Yeah, I say you're attractive. Like, and I feel like you know, and I feel like you know you're attractive, so you feel personally attacked. But I want to say that it's not you. I'm just saying, like, in my experience, you know, I've had attractive men who are dark skinned, bald, chocolate, you know. And,
Give me that same reaction to a
like-
light skinned man,
Huh?
though. Let me get that same reaction. This
No,
is the
but
thing,
even with
because there are a
that, I
lot of
love
pretty boys out there
everybody.
that-
I love everybody.
She likes the spirit. She said
I
that
look at the
already.
spirit.
I
I
know
love
you do.
everybody.
Yes, I know you got it.
Not the flesh,
So no, that's why I say it. It's because that generalization, like that's put on pretty guys or light skinned guys throughout their life. So it's easy for you to say that for that one person, but literally you're taking that in every time a girl sees you or a guy sees you. You're like, oh, I think he's pretty, so he's a hoe or he's full of himself. You know what I mean? But they're not all like that.
I know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just society. Like we look at people like Drake or, Albie Shore, and and within their own right, these guys are very masculine, and they have certain qualities that women want. But for some reason, I think the definition, the masculinity definition is very like diluted nowadays. Like certain things don't belong in masculinity and certain things shouldn't be said about masculinity. If you are a man, you are a man, and no one can take that from you, regardless of what your orientation is, regardless of what you choose to do in your life, regardless of how tight your pants are. I look at everyone the same. You don't have to be like me. You don't have to wear Timberlands. These things don't make a man, So I think a lot of times, we look at social media, TV, and we look at things like that women would think, okay, this is what a man is, or this is what a man is supposed to look like. At the end of the day, I didn't choose for my voice to be this deep, but if someone looks at me, oh, he's masculine, but listen, I'm just me. I don't try to say I'm more masculine than anyone else. I don't try to use my, complexion as a crutch in anything or try to play up this pretty boy image. But at the same time, you just have to respect people where they are. And I think that, no matter what shade you are, you got to respect it.
So when you talk about feeling safe and satisfied, I feel like, and we know you, so I'm sure you don't mean this, but a lot of times when girls say that, I always want to know, like, are you safe and satisfied on your own before you expect that on another person?
Absolutely. You need to love yourself first before you can love anyone. That's true. Before
That's true.
anything you do, especially in marriage.
Yes.
Because that's going to
Yes.
break 100% right away.
Yeah.
What happened,
Absolutely.
Sam? You look confused.
No, I was trying to figure out the whole thing about abuse, and then you said something about loving yourself. Like, I'm just trying to figure out how is that related?
We're talking about violence and emotionally, mentally in a relationship, and you're talking about.
Because you said something about you have to love yourself first, right? So
Yeah, what is that? What does that mean? Like somebody
ties
is
into
abusing
what
me
she's saying.
mentally,
What are you
emotionally.
talking
That
about?
means I don't love myself.
No, you said okay. So
I love myself.
No,
That
makes
great.
perfect
Okay,
sense, though.
great. So I love myself too. So
Yeah,
what's your
but
point?
what does that mean? Why are you associating a situation
No,
that
you
you
said- okay, your thing
necessarily
was-
an individual has no control
Okay,
over
whatever.
because
Go
of
ahead.
that
Go
individual?
ahead. You have the point. Go ahead. Go ahead. You have the point. Go ahead.
Can I finish this?
Go ahead. You have. Go
I
ahead.
understand.
Hold on, can I answer
I
that?
don't understand
Can I answer
either.
that?
Why are you getting
Hey,
crazy
sis,
right
sis,
now? You
queen.
just
First of all, don't
that
call me
whole
crazy.
thing.
Don't call me
I know, I
crazy.
said, why
You
getting
don't know me.
crazy?
Don't use that word
You
with
getting
me.
crazy.
No, I'm not getting
Time out,
anything.
time out.
You need to calm your
You need to
ass.
bring that
Calm
all
your ass.
the way
Time.
down.
Don't
You need to bring that
I
all
don't want
the way
anybody to say my
down.
name. I have no issues with Yazzie. Basically, maybe I misinterpret what she said because many people were saying many things. And so she was like, don't get crazy with me. Don't get crazy with me. I'm like, don't say that to me. And she continuously to say it. And it's like, clearly you have something to prove. I don't have anything to prove to you. So why are you saying,
Your trigger word is crazy.
No, I just felt like her saying "don't get crazy with me" because I was trying to understand where she was coming from was just rude. And when I said "don't say it," she said it again, and to me that was disrespectful. Because if I say don't do something to me, why you do it again? Like you basically saying like I don't care about your feeling. I'm gonna say it regardless, and that wasn't okay with me.
Yazzie is saying like yes. You love yourself, and she does love herself. She was in a situation where somebody was trying to mentally abuse her and emotionally abuse her. Obviously, they're not together anymore. You can love yourself. You can love yourself so much and still have a man try to still manipulate you and take advantage of you, and then you remove them. That isn't. Those two things don't go together. 17, I kind of misunderstood like where you were going with that, but Yazzie, I get it. Like you can love yourself, but if someone is mentally, you don't know that person is going to mentally abuse you. Because you get into a relationship and y'all like each other. We talking about, oh, what's your favorite color? Let's go on dates. Everything is happy. You don't really know somebody well until time goes on. So I'm not going to meet you and know that you're a mentally abusive person.
I disagree with that because I wasn't in an abusive relationship personally, and there has been red flags throughout the beginning. I just didn't take them into consideration because I'm like, you know what, you can give the person a chance because people change. Okay. So even though I
can understand that, but not every man is like that. If he was like that from the beginning, and maybe you weren't catching on to it or seeing it in the beginning, that was you. But Yazzie, obviously, she caught it because some men will put on an act and pretend.
No
like,
person shows their ass when they just get in a relationship, and within 6 months, you still don't know that person.
Exactly.
What Martina's trying to say is there are signs. You will know the signs. Within 6 months is a long time for you to know the signs. But 6 months is a long time to know the signs. You can know the signs within a week.
I'm saying not 6 months in regards to the signs. I'm saying within 6 months in a relationship, you don't necessarily know the person everything about them. But if you do, then you go too fast, and then it's gonna crash fast.
My issue is you don't have to. You know the signs. So if you're saying okay, because we're talking about marriage right now, so why would you like assume the person is like okay, good until you guys get married? Because we have signs. You don't. There's 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, you can be in a relationship, but we have early signs that you would know that this guy.
No,
so
I definitely agree.
We've talked about that like last season.
No, I definitely agree.
Signs, yeah. So
your psychology major, you should know that because I went to therapy.
Don't even throw that
out.
Sam was misinformed and also very dismissive of my emotions and like my experience and my connection that I was trying to make. She didn't even allow me to make that connection. She just automatically tried to pick a fight, and I didn't appreciate that at all. It was very rude.
One thing is to, understand, where someone's coming from. Another thing is to disregard where they're coming from. At the end of the day, I think we all have something to bring to the table as individuals, as black men and women, kings and queens. And I just believe that, we're working progress each and every day, and we should all respect that.
Yes, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. And if you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.
Whoa! Zenobia over here talking about busting it wide open. Let me tell y'all, in the South, girls talk about busting it wide open. I mean, they about to bust it wide open.
Z, I'm making it easy for you. The kind of man you're describing is in the jailhouse. Or you can just go on the street. You live in like Harlem. There's a lot of them in Harlem, 125th.